Hello. So some of you may know my boy Gerbert Johnson on YouTube. Fucking great guy. I mean, I don't know him personally, but his videos are fucking awesome. And he just made a video, Gen Z has no hope, talking about like, the doomer generation and everything, like continuous technological advancement that just continues to get more and more profound while simultaneously people's life, quality of life continues to go down and down. Like we have immense comfort, food, water, everything that we need, anything that we can want, shelter at the tip of our fingers, heat, electricity, the internet. We have all of this at the tip of our fingers. We can access it whenever we want to escape any little senses of pain, any little tings of difficulty. We can run away from it because we have comfort everywhere. And that's true. That's true. And he talks about that in the video. And that's kind of like the whole staple of the Gen Z generation, the doomer generation. It's so much comfort that we can run from difficulty. And on the surface, that might sound good. That might sound like it's going to solve issues. But in fact, as you can see by just observing people online, it doesn't. Shit just continues to get worse and worse. People continue to get more and more depressed. Like, there's a reason why this generation's like the most suicidal generation, why it's the most depressed generation, why it's the most anxious generation, why it's just the most riddled with illness generation. And a lot of that has to do with constant access to technology and comfort that we continue to turn to anytime shit gets a little difficult in life. And so the whole premise of his video was that Gen Z has no hope. His whole premise. We're pretty much fucked. And when you look at it on the surface, you'd think that definitely. Like he said in the video, he made a good point that if you just look at the world around you, you're gonna see, just look at what's happening. And if you look at what, like, the individual things that are happening, you can already see the trajectory on how the world's going to continue to work with those things as time goes on. So if you look at social media is not going to go anywhere. You look at that, it just keeps getting more and more intrusive, more and more available, more and more profoundly addictive, and it's only going to continue to do so. And same thing with our access to media, to streaming, to YouTube, that sort of thing, short form content, random shitty videos, memes, um, phones, just random little widgets and apps that everybody starts using for no apparent reason, even though it's fucking shit and it doesn't do anything for you. We're going to continue to use those. And technology is going to continue to advance whether or not we like it. And we're still going to use it. And so that's what his whole premise was when talking about Gen Z has no hope. At least that's what I got from his video. I love the guy. Fucking love his videos. But I think it's real easy as someone who's part of Gen Z. It's really easy to be like, damn, it is all fucked. Like, I wish I was born in an earlier time, a better time. I wish I was born in a better era with more community and more simplistic lives. I wish I was born in that time, but you can't change that. Fact of the matter is, we were born in this generation. We were born at this stage of human civilization, and you can't change that. You can't stop that. So complaining isn't going to do anything unless that complaining is directed towards something specific, or unless that complaining is educated. And so, like I said, it's real easy to understand like what he's saying, that our generation's doomed. We have no hope. We're pretty fucked because technology and all the things that are fucking us up are going to continue to advance and become more intrusive and more invasive as time goes on, and there's no stopping it. But here's my counter to that I thought of while watching his video, was shit's going to continue to get worse if we continue to get on technology, if we continue to use technology, if we continue to become more and more addicted to social media, and therefore more and more isolated from our friends and family, and further destruction of community happens, and more isolation between every individual from other individuals, more tribalism enacted by the individual echo chambers that people fall into when they spend chronic amounts of time online. You'd be looking at politics or different ideologies regarding economics, or different opinions on what caused life. Was it God? Was it random chaos? Like anything. All of these individual beliefs, they all have their own echo chambers online. So if you hop online, you start reading that as an individual with no community, because that's been destroyed by technology, you're going to become even more isolated through the use of technology as you fall into your respective echo chambers that you most identify with, as you try to get a community through the use of technology, even though that's not getting you a community. You're lacking a community, you're lacking friends, you're lacking family, you're lacking connection, you're lacking happiness, and you turn to technology to give you that because everybody else is isolated. Nobody else wants to participate in community forming. So you turn to technology to get that. You're watching, you're falling into your echo chambers. You're reading the things that you want to read. You're watching the things that you want to watch online. You're scrolling the things that you want to scroll online. And all of that creates this false sort of wave of community, this false sort of like filter over everything that you are a part of some community, even though it's some echo chamber online, even though you're not really with any of these people that you're watching online, even though that you're not actually connected to any of them, that you don't actually have a community with them. There's still that false veil that you are connected to them, that there is a community. But the fact of the matter is, when you get online, on social media, technology, whatever it is, you may feel like you're having a community with people, but fact of the matter is, it's just the internet. And real community does come from individual people being with each other face to face on a day-to-day basis, talking about things, their respective interests, and trying to amplify those interests and turn the world into them. You know, you can't change the world unless you kind of come together as a community. Or you could even as an individual, maybe. I don't quite know yet. I'm still young. We'll see. But I think one thing's for certain. This is the counter. Kind of rambling here, but my counter to him saying that Gen Z has no hope is Gen Z has no hope right now for the sake of people accepting that they have no hope. But I think if you look at it from a different angle, and instead of saying Gen Z has no hope, you say a lot of Gen Z is very hopeless, or a lot of Gen Z is struggling and they're really depressed and fucked up mentally, then that opens the door to, okay, well, what's the solution to that? How do we fix that? How do we change that? How can I change that? How can you change that? And so, again, going back to his example, I'd probably do more. I mean, I already kind of talked about this, how technology does fuck us up big time. So let's keep it simple for now. Technology does fuck us up big time. Social media does fuck us up big time. And as he said in the video, and he's not wrong in saying this, he's definitely right, that as time goes on, technology will continue to amplify, grow bigger and bigger, more profound, more intrusive, and we'll become further isolated from each other and from ourselves even. And so now begs the question, let's go back to the assumption that Gen Z is struggling, depressed, and fucked up, not that they're hopeless, not that they have no hope. Okay, so what's the solution then? If technology, the continuous advancement of technology is causing us issues, and it will cause more issues down the line, if it's taking away what we want from us, such as community, such as friendship, such as destruction of tribalism and a more open minds within all of us, the doorway to communication, to conversation, if that's what we want and technology is taking that away, what's the simple solution? The simple solution that's right there in front of every single one of our faces is to get off of the internet, is to get offline, is to delete our social media platforms and to never get on them ever again. So, if Gen Z continues to use technology and they continue to become more isolated and they do become the puppets of these, I mean, for lack of better terms, the puppets of these corporations and that are making these social media platforms that are putting more bullshit into our faces every single day. If we continue to use that and scroll it and then whine about how the world's ending, then we're just the puppets. We're just being used by these people. We're doing exactly what they want us to do, which is to use their products so they can make ad revenue off of our attention and then have us be these empty shells of humans that can't even think anymore. So the only way to get stimulation is to continue to use their applications to give them ad revenue more and more and more. Now they're coming out with Snapchat's got Snapchat Plus, Snapchat Gold or whatever. So now they even make subscription payments, subscription profits off of their applications and their corporations. And so if you really want to stop this, like imagine a world, right? Like think of the world now, how fucked it is, how fucked a lot of us feel. Because of technology, because of games, because of a lack of community, a lack of friendship, a lack of people who understand you or that want to understand you, or that even if they disagree with you, they still like you as a person. They still want to have a conversation about you, about your beliefs with you to figure out something. Maybe they can gather something new about the idea of what life is by having a conversation with you. If that's what we want, and what are we getting? We're not getting that. We're getting the antithesis of that through our chronic use of technology. So if we want that world, the other world that I described, the one of connection, of friendship, of community, then that means we have to delete our social media platforms. So now imagine a world different from the world today, a world where we do have all of those things, where we do have connection, community, a world where every single one of us, just randomly, one day, every single one of us decides to stop, to delete all of our socials, to stop getting online, to just start reading books again, to start socializing by creating groups within our neighborhoods or our communities or our towns, and we start doing that instead of wasting time online, gaming, scrolling, watching videos. If we stop doing that and we instead just, I mean, if we just stop doing that, if we just completely get off of it, which is completely doable for each and every one of us to do, what will happen? That will completely change the trajectory of human history. That will completely put a bay this techno dystopia that's slowly but surely setting in as people are becoming more dependent on technology, as these corporations are using us more and more and stealing our humanity and our souls away. We can literally stop that and change that trajectory from happening. We can stop a techno dystopia from truly manifesting in our world today that will fuck our children up. We can completely stop that. It's easy to say that we can't, that there is no hope. It's so easy to say that because it's weirdly pleasurable. You just say, fuck, man. Everything's so fucked up. The internet's everywhere. I can't get off of social media. I got all these addictions to everything. I can't stop scrolling. I can't get off of TikTok. I love TikTok, but it sucks and it fucks me up, and I just can't get off of it because I love it too much. It's just not my fault anyway. It's just everywhere. Everyone uses it. The whole world's fucked. There's nothing I can do about it. Whatever. Might as well just completely embrace hedonism and just continue to get this mindless pleasure that fucking destroys me. You could continue to do that and believe that, and it's pleasurable in a weird way because it takes all the responsibility off of your shoulders. Now, you don't even have to think of possibly trying to create a better world because you've already resigned it to extinction. And I think that's the wrong way to go about it. I think if you do that, then you're kind of the same. I don't want to. No, you are kind of the same. Not exactly, but kind of the same as the people that are causing it. These corporations and social media and the internet, people that have all of these attention-stealing platforms all over the place that are creating this techno dystopia, these people, they only have as much power as we, the people that use them, give them. If everyone stops buying iPhones and Samsung phones and stops getting online, deletes their social media profiles, and never gets on them again, if everybody does that, all of these companies will go completely bankrupt. All of these companies will collapse. Or they'll just have to change and grow. They'll say, okay, Instagram, we can't do that anymore. Or YouTube Shorts or whatever, we can't do that anymore. We actually have to focus on making good things that improve the quality of life for people. And that is what will happen because we will force the trajectory of human advancement to change. We can literally change that. Like, it's hard to believe. It's hard to say, yeah, we can totally change the trajectory of the history, but it's completely true. It's a complete fact that if every single one of us decides to get off of this shit and boycott it, that the world will improve. The world will halt its current trajectory of going down this dark place of techno dystopia, and it'll turn around and go back. And we can create a better world somehow in that. I don't quite know how to yet, but that'll be a first step towards a better world, is if everybody just got off of this shit, started communicating with each other, started forming communities like I was talking about, neighborhood, town communities, social events, hanging out with people, talking and dreaming about how to make the world better and enacting those desires, building a company that actually improves people's lives, gives them something better to look forward to, something that if they participate in this new economic circle created by this corporation, this company that one of us creates, that by people participating in that economic circle, that their lives will improve. That's a world we can create. So yeah, that's pretty much all, I think. Gen Z does have hope. It's just the hope lies in the individual strength of each and every one of us to say no. It's pretty much it. It's quite a simple solution. But it's definitely a true one. It's definitely a powerful one. It definitely has the ability to change human history. It's just that each and every one of us has to say enough and to get off. It's as easy as that. Delete everything. Get rid of your devices. Get a BlackBerry. Get a flip phone. You don't need anything else more advanced. And plain and simple, that'll change the world. Yeah. Good luck.